Hello and welcome to my website, A Feast for Senses. My name is David Liu, and the reason I created this website was so that we could take a brief look at the anatomy and physiology of our senses. The way that we perceive things, I think that we often take for granted. For example, whenever you drink your coffee, whenever you hear a concert, whenever you touch your keyboard, all those sorts of things, we often don't think about the actual processes behind them. And so that's why I decided to create this website. Welcome. And I hope you like it. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's start with the brain, because the brain is really important, and without the brain you wouldn't really be able to perceive anything. So the brain, it has these massive cerebral hemispheres, which are all in color here. It also has the cerebellum, and it has the brainstem. We're mainly going to be talking about the cerebral hemispheres today because I think they are particularly pertinent to our topic. Also, I don't think I have the time to cover all of brain anatomy because that usually takes years, where I've only got a few minutes. So let's get started. We can start broadly by identifying different lobes of the brain. So this yellow one, there's four, which I've put one for each color. This yellow one is the frontal lobe. This pink one is the parietal lobe. This blue one is the occipital lobe, and then this green one is the temporal lobe. You have two important fissures. Two are very especially important fissures. Actually, there's a lot of important fissures, but the ones that are really prominent here. This one here is called the central sulcus, and this one here is called the lateral fissure. In the frontal lobe, the gyrus immediately in front of the central sulcus, or in other words, a part of the brain immediately in front of the central sulcus, is referred to anatomically as the precentral gyrus. Functionally, this contains the primary motor cortex, which is the highest level in the brain for the control of movement. And here in each hemisphere, the opposite half of the body is represented in a highly precise fashion. On the other side of the central sulcus, you have this gyrus, and that's called the postcentral gyrus, or the primary somatosensory cortex. So this is the site of termination of pathways that carry the modalities of touch, pressure, pain, and temperature from the opposite half of the body. It's a region where these things are consciously perceived, and the special senses have the highest level of representation in this area. And in the temporal lobe lies this thing here, the auditory cortex for hearing. Here is the visual cortex for seeing. I won't go into any more detail right now because the brain is a pretty crazy, complicated structure, but that just gives you a taste as to where the senses go in the brain and where they're processed.